This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
We're 5 minutes into overtime here, and we're still tied at 3. Scott Seidenberg back with you on Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. All the drama unfolding there in Winnipeg with the Jets scoring 2 goals with the net empty. The extra attacker on as they come back from down 3-1 to tie the game with 2 seconds remaining, send it into overtime where we skate right now. Game 7 of their first round series. This is Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Absolutely nothing better right now as the Jets and Blues skate tied at 3 here in overtime. I should say the first overtime because we don't know when this game is going to come to a close. Meanwhile, third quarter action, 8:35 to go in the third quarter in Houston as the Warriors lead the Rockets 56-47. Your live line is the Warriors -5.5. Your live total of 192.5. And taking a look inside the box score, Steph Curry still with just 3 points in this game. Just 3 points in this game for Steph Curry, and the Warriors leading 56-47 here at the start of, a couple minutes into the third quarter. Jimmy Butler's got 11 points, so at least he is scoring. He's got 3 points so far in this third quarter. 8-5, the Rockets outscoring the Warriors here early on in this third quarter. Once again, the totals in this game, it opened up at 201. It was bet up to 203 as of yesterday, and then today up to 205.5, which is where it closed here at Circa, and it has been played at a snail's pace with the first half going well under. Only 48 points scored in that second quarter and 42 in the first. And so right now your live total is at 192.5 with the Warriors leading 56-47. And your live line, Warriors -5.5. 8:35 to go in the third quarter. As speaking of Steph Curry, who only has the 3 points right now, up on DraftKings, and there are some books where you can bet some live player props. Curry's live point total is at 14.5. Now, I'd like to think that over the course of the second half, Steph Curry's gonna, maybe find his stroke, shoot the basketball a little bit, especially like if the game gets closer. Like, how long could you survive in this game with Curry only having 3 points? But at 14.5 on his point total, you're asking him to score 11 more points. I'll repeat, we've only seen this guy score 3 points this entire game. What is giving us any confidence that we're going to see him score 11 points for the remainder of this game? He is 1 of 7 from the field. 1 of 6 from three-point range, and he hasn't gotten to the free throw line yet. So while it might be attractive to bet a reduced number on a guy like Steph Curry, who you would think needs to be the guy, if we're going to get the Warriors to continue to win this game, but I have no confidence in it right now. Okay, we got some drama here. There is a penalty to the St. Louis Blues. It is a Braden Shen minor. Does this delay a game? Did he flip the puck up over the boards? I think so. All right, Braden Shen flips the puck over the boards, and there is a penalty on the Blues for delay of game, meaning the Winnipeg Jets, at 13 minutes left in overtime, in the first overtime, will head to the power play. Again, we are tied at 3 in overtime. The Jets are on the power play right now for the Blues. The Blues are skating down now, shorthanded. Hey, they got some eyes. They got their eyes on a shorthanded goal here. But anyway, the Jets are on the power play right now as we will monitor what's going on here in Winnipeg. Game 7 between the Blues and the Jets. Still in the stoppage. Haven't gotten underway just yet now. We are finally back from commercial and about to get underway here, a third quarter in Houston with the Warriors leading the Rockets 56-47. Your live total back down now to 189.5. I think it's just crazy. I think it's crazy how we're not even going to get 190 points in this game. I mean, this is, you want to talk about like old school NBA, or however you want to say it. Like, it's just, is this defense? I don't know if it's all defense. I think it could be just slow pace, missed shots, and frankly, physical play that's not getting called. There's just been barely any fouls called in this game. There's no free throw attempts. And like, that's how you win an under, is when the refs let you play. There was the other night, what was it? I had the Knicks in the game 6 to go under, and that shot over the total. I lost that bet, but there was like 70 free throws attempted in that game. Sometimes the officials dictate the whole course of the game. No goal. Okay. Wow, dangerous scrum there. Binnington does come up with the puck as all the Jets crashed the net there, trying to push it under Jordan Binnington, but he keeps it out of the net. So we're still tied at 3, and the Jets still remain on the power play. 7:36 to go now in the third quarter, and still just no scoring in this game. 189.5 is your live total. I mean, if you bet the under 205.5, this is a rocking share winner. I don't want, maybe I shouldn't say that, and I apologize. Like, obviously, crazy things can happen. We just saw it in the hockey. Crazy things can happen. A game can get tied. It can go to overtime. You can get burned a million ways. I know I've been burned a million ways in losing bets that I thought were easy wins. But, as someone that thought that the over was going to be a play, chasing watching the number get bet up from 201 to 205.5, boy, couldn't have been more wrong. 56-49, another stoppage in this game as 7:36 to go in the third quarter, and the Warriors lead the Rockets 56-49. Earlier tonight, it was a surprise to most that the Indiana Pacers won their game 1 of their second-round series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were 8.5-point dogs. They were the Indiana Pacers, and they win 121-112. Tyrese Halliburton has 22 points, and Andrew Nembhard had 23 points to lead the way for the Pacers. Meanwhile, in the loss, it was Donovan Mitchell with 33 points, and maybe the loss of Darius Garland starting to come back here and really hurt the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I don't think that they're going to have Garland for game 2 coming up either. And if you take a look, the early line here for that game 2 is, and this is the zigzag, right? And this is what we've seen in the NBA, and the book is juicing you on that zigzag. But the teams that have lost here in the NBA playoffs have bounced back to cover the spread in the next game. The Cavs, who are 8.5-point favorites in game 1, are 9.5-point favorites for game 2 coming up on Tuesday. Real quick, I'll get you those exact numbers on this NBA playoffs. So the zigzag has just been extremely profitable if that's all you were doing. If you were just betting the team that lost the game in the playoffs and you're betting them the next game, let's see. Against the spread, let's see. We are, it looks like 27-16. We'll double check those numbers. If it's, in fact, 23, okay, here we go. 23-11-1. Those are the numbers. 23-11-1. If all you did was bet the team that lost to cover the spread in the next game. 23-11-1 against the spread. That is a profit of what, $1,090 this year, just in this playoffs alone. If all you did was bet the team that lost to then cover the spread in the next game. And so the books are absolutely juicing you. Absolutely juicing you here as it has now gone up from 8.5 to 9.5 as they are factoring in that zigzag. Other lines for the game 1s coming up tomorrow. The Knicks are at the Celtics. Boston, a 9-point favorite over New York. This line is just asking you to take the Knicks. I might be on the Knicks. I think 9 is a little bit too high for a game one. And we saw it here with the Cleveland Cavaliers laying 8.5 at home, and that was too high. Clearly, they lost outright, and I don't think the Knicks are going to win outright, but 9's a lot for a playoff game here. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, 9.5-point favorites over the Nuggets. This was 8.5 a day ago, and it has been bet up to 9.5. And the Thunder over the Nuggets here, this is one that we talked about last night because I looked at some trends of teams that are on like 8 days of rest. This is like over a week of rest for the Thunder prior to this game against the Nuggets. Those teams have actually done extremely well in the NBA playoffs. If you go look back, they've done extremely well when you're playing on those 8 days of rest prior to your next game. But this has been bet up now from 8.5 now to Thunder laying 9.5 at home against Denver. Hey, smarter bets start here, and they last all year long with VSiN Pro. For a limited time, we're slashing the price of our annual subscription, normally $240, now just $199. And when you sign up today, we're going to throw in an extra 2 months for free. That's right, 14 months of VSiN Pro access for less than 50 cents a day when you use the promo code PRO. Get 14 months of our daily best bets from not just the host, but the guests as well. You get the exclusive splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 live video and audio access on the VSiN Watch app, and all of our special edition betting guides. Go to vsin.com/subscribe now. Use promo code PRO. Lock in your 14 months of VSiN Pro for just $199. That's vsin.com/subscribe. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Scott Seidenberg back here with you. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Coming up about 15 minutes or so from now, we'll be joined by Munaf Manji from pregame.com, hosts NBA podcast on their pregame podcast network. We'll talk about, the remainder of this game, Warriors and Rockets, but also take a look at the games for tomorrow and the second round in general here of the NBA playoffs. Warriors lead 61-55 with 4:36 to go in the third quarter. Your live total is at 187.5. And I mean, I know that it's a game 7. I know that this has been an under series. I know that I'm stupid for thinking that this game could go over. But I am shocked at just how low scoring this is. 61-55 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter of an NBA game. I mean, this is old school basketball. This is like what we saw in the 90s. I'm baffled by this. And Steph Curry finally makes another shot. Curry had 3 points up until a moment ago where he made a three-pointer. Curry now has 6 points. The Warriors are up 61-55. They have a 6-point lead in a Game 7 of a playoff series, and Steph Curry has 6 points. How lucky are they right now? Buddy Hield, meanwhile, hasn't done anything what he did in the first half. Just still has the 22 points. He was 6 of 7 from three-point range in the first half. He missed his only three-point attempt here in the third quarter. I mean, there's just no shots. There's just no possessions here. This game is at a snail's pace. 61-56 right now. 4 minutes, 4:30 left to go in the third quarter. Live total of 188.5. 61-57 now. Warriors leading the Rockets. Meanwhile, we are still tied in overtime here between the Jets and the Blues. Winnipeg, it's not Winnipeg, but St. Louis got to be thinking, how did we get here? Man, how did we get to this moment? We had a 3-1 lead. We were shooting at the empty net. We were trying to win the game, maybe 4-1. All right, we let up a goal. We're still up 3-2. We're shooting at the empty net. We're trying to win the game 4-2. But you give up another goal with 2 seconds on the clock, and you give that building all the life and the energy. And when you're in overtime, you're tired, you're beat. You got to find the energy somehow here in this playoff atmosphere, this playoff moment, and the home fans are certainly going to will their team to give them that energy. And right now, I mean, the building, I was an electric atmosphere when they scored that goal. And we'll see how it plays out here. About 7 minutes to go, a little under 7 minutes to go now in this first overtime, should we get to a second overtime between the Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. All right, Warriors with a 63-57 lead over the Rockets. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. This game's far from over. The total's far from over. That's not going to happen. But is it crazy to think that the Rockets come back, that can win this game? Is it crazy to think that we could see overtime in this game? No. Warriors were a 7.5-point favorite at the half. Now they're down to a 3.5-point favorite. Rockets plus 3.5. Based on what we've seen so far, Steph Curry not doing anything. He's got 8 points now, so he made another basket. Still hasn't attempted a free throw. I feel like maybe the Rockets are worth a look here at plus 3.5. They'll probably be worth a look at plus 7.5, but you never know how that the rest of the half plays out. But it wouldn't surprise me to see the Rockets, take a lead at some point here in this game, just because the Warriors, I think, got to be fortunate to be where they are right now, to have this lead where they are right now. Because looking at this box score, we're getting nothing from Curry, nothing from Jimmy. 11 points from Jimmy Butler on 4 of 9 shooting. All right. 3 of 10 shooting from Steph Curry. No one's doing anything. Draymond Green hit those 2 3-pointers early on in the first quarter, and that's it. And again, the refs are letting them play. This has been a physical, limited possessions, low offense type of game. Warriors right now, 12 of 28 from 3-point range. That's still a decent percentage. They're still shooting 43% from 3-point range. Meanwhile, the Rockets, 2 of 9 from 3-point range. Wow. What a save by Jordan Binnington on a breakaway attempt. I don't know who shot that, but that was dangerously close to ending the game for the Winnipeg Jets and ending the series. But Jordan Binnington came up huge on a mini breakaway attempt. I got to see that replay again. My goodness, was that Domestikov? That was an incredible save. There was a turnover, quick pass, Nemestikov on a breakaway, Binnington with an incredible save to keep this game tied and keep his team alive here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then on the other side, just a great broken stick on a great defensive dive and play by the Winnipeg Jets, preventing the Blues from getting a clean shot on goal. Oh, wow, the stick even broke before the defensive stop. So, this has been fun. It's overtime here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Game 7 overtime, there's nothing better in all of sports. Well, could we get another overtime in the other Game 7 in progress right now? You never know. It is 63-60 as the Rockets have been in control of this third quarter. They have outscored the Warriors 21-12 here in the third quarter. The Warriors have called a timeout here. There's 2:41 left to go in this third quarter. It is a 63-60 game. Warriors, the live line, minus 2.5. Live total of 185.5. And I'm not going to say it, but if it does go to overtime, I still don't even think that this game hits the over if it goes to overtime. But they don't call it undertime, but I still don't think it gets there. That's just how low scoring this thing has been. You could probably afford 40 more points and it would still go under that total. I mentioned coming up in about 10 minutes or so from now, we'll be joined by Munaf Manji. We'll get his thoughts on the remainder of this game as we head to the fourth quarter. And then, of course, the playoff series that will begin starting tomorrow. We already had one second-round series begin today. Here's your playoff markets now. Even though the Cavs lost Game 1 here today to the Pacers, the Cavs are still minus 210 favorites to win that series. Now, a lot of people were not giving the Indiana Pacers a chance in this series. The Cavs were minus 800 in this series. And the favorite was for them to win in 4 games or 5 games, which they could still win in 5. They just dropped Game 1, and they're 9.5-point favorites for Game 2, so they could still win this series in 5 games. But I do think that this price is a little bit disrespectful to the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers play, pun intended here, at a frenetic pace. And, if you want to, people say, oh, well, the Cavs do what the Pacers do better. Well, maybe not without Darius Garland. Maybe shorthanded, they don't do what the Pacers do better. And maybe they can't run with the Pacers. Maybe they would be better off slowing down the Pacers and using their size inside. But the Pacers maybe deserve a little bit more respect. They won game one, and you can still get them at plus 175 to win the series. Cavs minus 210. Meanwhile, the Celtics, speaking of respect, minus 800 in that series against the Knicks. I don't want to take the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks are going to win this series at all. But that is a disrespectful price. And I might be looking at a series total number of games in that series between the Knicks and the Celtics. The over 5.5 is plus 125. I don't think it's crazy to ask the Knicks to win 2 games because we have seen the Celtics give away games. We have seen the Celtics be the far superior team in a postseason series and yet lose a game or lose 2 games. I don't think it's crazy to think that, hey, maybe, just maybe, the Knicks can win 2 games and the Celtics win this series in 6. So at plus money, little plus money price here on the Knicks to win 2 games, I don't hate that. I would take it. We'll get Munaf's take on that coming up next. Don't forget, you can take your betting to the next level with First Bet, whether it's Santa Anita, Gulfstream Park, or the road to the Triple Crown. And congratulations to all of you who tailed our very own Mike Somich's Superfecta. Boy, did that thing cash in. First Bet puts the action at your fingertips. Sign up now at firstbet.com. That's the number one, stbet.com. Use promo code VSIN200 to score a 20% rebate on all your wagers for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out. Bet smarter today at firstbet.com. We'll update you on what's going on. Still in overtime, tied between the Jets and the Blues, and we are headed to the fourth quarter in Houston between the Rockets and the Warriors at a slow under pace. Munaf Manji from pregame.com, the pregame.com podcast network, will join me coming up next, get his thoughts on this fourth quarter and the second round series that get underway. Tomorrow's games included Knicks at the Celtics, Nuggets at the Thunder. I'm Scott Seidenberg, always on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, SCOTTSONAIR. Hit us all up on the network here at VSIN Live. This is Live Bet Sunday here on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back here on Live Bet Sunday, I'm Scott Seidenberg on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network, as we head to the fourth quarter of a game that is at a snail's pace. I'm surprised the fans are even awake there in the arena. Warriors lead the Rockets 70-62 at the end of the third quarter. Your live line, Warriors minus 6.5. Your live total of 182.5. Congrats to everybody that bet the under 205.5. This is, barring overtime, this is not even going to sniff 190, let alone 200, let alone 205.5. Joining me now on the Progressive Guest Line, you hear him on the pregame.com podcast network, hosting a variety of podcasts, including the NBA pod. He is Munaf Manji. Munaf, thanks so much for joining us here on Live Bet Sunday. What's been your take on what we've seen so far in this game? How do we explain why this has been such a slow, low-scoring effort between the Warriors and the Rockets?
Yeah, first of all, Game 7, right? So we typically, I know Denver and LA wasn't really at a snail's pace, or offense was not lacking, at least for one team in the Denver Nuggets. But it's kind of been the story of this series, right? I know Rockets have really prided themselves on the defensive end of the basketball during the regular season, and that's how they win ball games. And when you don't have referees that are calling fouls and letting the players play the game, and physicality is up, and this is the result we have right now. We have 132 points through 3 quarters right now. So if you're an under better, hopefully it doesn't get to overtime. And if you're over better, you're hoping for overtime. Maybe even with overtime, it doesn't get to the full game over pre-flop. But it's been fun to watch, but we still got about 12 minutes left here, so we'll see what happens with between the Warriors and the Rockets.
Yeah, I think even if it goes to overtime, you're still good for your pre-flop number going under. But if anybody got it on a live over or something, maybe overtime will help you. Maybe you get to like 190 or something should it get to overtime. But 72-62, it's like you get one basket every 2.5 minutes here in this game. It's absolutely ridiculous what we're seeing here between these two teams. And you're right, the refs are not calling anything. The Warriors just 3 of 5 from the free throw line. 5 free throws the entire game here for the Golden State Warriors. And Steph Curry, he only had 3 points in the first half. He is now picking it up. He's got 13 points now on the game. So at one point, you could have gotten his live total at 14.5. Do we expect Curry to check in here in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, this is Jimmy Butler. This is Steph Curry time to close it out. They've gotten off to a pretty good start here, but Scott, if we said they had Butler and Steph Curry had a combined, I think it was like 14 points midway through the third quarter.
Yep.
You probably would have thought they were trailing the game there, but no, the depth, you should say, of the Golden State Warriors has stepped up. Buddy Hield has 22 points for them. 4 of the 5 starters are in double figures. Pajemski looks like he's on his way to getting to double figures here. So, if it wasn't for those guys knocking down the shots early in the game, this could be going the other way for the Rockets. But looks like it should be Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry to close it out in the fourth quarter. That's where your stars really do show up.
How shocked were you by the outcome in the earlier game today where the Cavaliers, as 8.5-point favorites, lose outright to the Indiana Pacers?
Yeah, big shock there for me. I did have the Cavs in that game. I had Cavs team total over. Just really weren't able to knock down shots in that fourth quarter where the Cleveland Cavaliers, they came out in the third quarter to start the second half looking really good. But give credit to Indiana. They've been a fantastic offensive team, but I don't think their defense is being talked about a whole heck of a lot and how well they've been able to play and really limited the three-point shooting of the Cleveland Cavaliers, something that they have really prided themselves on. Not only during the regular season, but of course, they just ran through the Miami Heat in that first round of the NBA playoffs. They're 9 of 38, from three-point land. That's not going to get it done. You do expect some positive regression for the Cleveland Cavaliers in game 2, but give a lot of credit to the Indiana Pacers. Number one, with that emotional series they had against the Milwaukee Bucks, kind of a rivalry brewing there between those two teams. And now going into Cleveland, this team dominated at home during the regular season to steal a game 1 and steal home court. So should be a fun series. This could be a series that goes at least 6 games, if not 7. I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm really excited about this series between the Pacers and the Cavs.
Market taxing you a bit here for game 2 coming up on Tuesday. The Cavs are 9.5-point favorites. Do you agree with the line being that high?
I don't think I can. I think that it's a big number. I know a lot of people like to the zigzag theory when it comes to the playoffs, but this Pacers team, I still feel like they're a little bit underrated. And they went out and scored 120 plus points. They're playing their brand of basketball, and it's working, right? Playing fast pace, led by Hallie, Siakam, Miles Turner, guys coming off of the bench for them, and they're bogging down defensively, which is a breath of fresh air when it comes to a team of Rick Carlisle. So the big question mark is going to be Darius Garland. He's missed the last 3 games there for the Cleveland Cavaliers with a toe injury there, Scott. But I'm still taking the points with this Indiana Pacers team. I think they could keep this game close, if not possibly win outright. But I don't expect a huge blowout victory for the Cavs in game 2.
Well, we have 2 high spreads tomorrow for game 1s of second round series. The Celtics, a 9-point favorite over the New York Knicks, total of 213. At this number, Munaf, it's like they're begging me to say, all right, I'm going to take the 9 with the Knicks. And you know what? I could talk myself into it. I don't think the Knicks are going to win this series. But I don't think it's crazy to think that the Knicks could win 1 game, maybe 2. I don't know if they do it on the road. Maybe they just get one of the games at Madison Square Garden. But 9 just feels like a lot. I know the Knicks have not done well against the Celtics during the regular season this year.
Yeah.
9 just feels like a lot of points.
Yeah, and also the fact with the Boston Celtics that they dealing with injuries in that first round, right? Drew Holiday, hamstring, Jaylen Brown, knee issue, dislocated finger. We saw the wrist injury that forced Jason Tatum to miss the game. Obviously they've had a long time off here, after they took their first round series there, but It's going to be a big series. And believe it or not, Scott, this is the first time in about 12 years these teams are meeting up in the NBA playoffs, which is, I think you have to go back to the Paul Pierce days with the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks there. But yeah, I've been skeptical when the Celtics are a big home favorite. Obviously, this Knicks team is completely different from Orlando. They have more options on the offensive side. Obviously, Jalen Brunson had a big series against the Detroit Pistons in that clutch 3-point shot. Got the double bang from Mike Breen there. And then I'm looking for the depth to step up for the New York Knicks, right? Whether it's Cat, whether it's OG Anunoby, whether it's Mikal Bridges. But I do think that they can keep this game close. This is going to be another fun series. I think that the Knicks can give them a fight, but I agree with you. I think that at the end of the day, the Knicks will prevail against the Boston Celtics will prevail against the New York Knicks.
I think when the Knicks won that first round series, they dropped the confetti from the rafters when they beat the Celtics there, 2013. That was. Talking to Munaf Manji from pregame.com. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN. Well, the other game, I actually do like laying the points here with the Thunder. 9.5-point favorites over the Nuggets. All credit in the world for what the Nuggets were able to do in their Game 7 against the Clippers, but I just think the Thunder are too strong, and they've had a lot of rest. I don't think it leads to rust. I think you get a really hungry Thunder team at home that just has too much athleticism possibly for the Nuggets.
Yeah, and also have the, possibly the Game 7 letdown spot. Yeah, hangover. I think that's the correct term there. For the Denver Nuggets. And it'll be interesting to see how the Oklahoma City Thunder defend Nikola Jokic, right? Because you added Hartenstein in the offseason. You got Chet Holmgren back. I know he missed some time with the injury there, but they have just so many defenders and guys that are physical, and they swat at every ball that you're trying to drive to the basket too. And SGA is just playing at an incredible level. Obviously going to be the MVP of the regular season there, but I think at least for Game 1, I think Thunder roll there, and then you make your adjustments if you are the Denver Nuggets going into Game 2. But this will be another fun series. Obviously, these two teams very familiar with each other being in the same division, of course. But at least for Game 1, I would with you, Scott. I would lay the points there with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Munaf, great stuff as always, my friend. Good luck with your bets. Enjoy the remainder of this game that's being played at a snail's pace. Live total of 183.5 now between the Warriors and the Rockets, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
Thanks, man. Have a great night.
There he is, Munaf Manji. Again, check out his podcast stuff, pregame.com. You can search for the Dream Preview podcast, and you get Munaf's NBA pod there. 75-66, the Warriors lead the Rockets with 9:42 to go in the fourth quarter. The Warriors on the live line is -7.5, and your live total of 183.5. And again, this game did close as the Rockets were a 2.5-point favorite. That's not what I'm laughing at. I'm laughing at the total being 205, being bet up from 201 to 205.5. But there has just been no possessions in this game, no free throws either. But 75-66 is where we are right now with 9:42 left. Warriors leading the Rockets Game 7 there. And we are awaiting the start of double overtime. That's right. No winner just yet. Double overtime in Winnipeg between the Blues and the Jets. I did not think we were going to be here about an hour or so ago. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Hit me up on Twitter at Scott's On Air. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back here on Live Bet Sunday, I'm Scott Seidenberg right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We are into double overtime right now in Winnipeg. The Jets and the Blues still knotted at 3 as the second overtime just started, and Blues have possession in the offensive zone right now as they are looking to pepper Connor Hellebuck, and the Jets will look to clear the zone and establish their own offense. Jordan Kyrou did take the first shot of this overtime period, saved by Hellebuck and into the netting. Meanwhile, the Warriors are up now 82-70 with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Your live total is now 179.5. I got to be honest. I mean, I know it was a dumb bet on the over. Okay, I know. Game 7s always go under. I get it. Okay, I was scared by off of the under because of what happened yesterday, where the Nuggets game flew over the total. I lost every under I played in that game, and it flew over the total. Okay, tonight, not the case. Like these teams are playing at the slowest pace I haven't seen since the 90s, and we are watching just absolutely no whistles in this game. I mean, there's no free throw attempts in this game. Crazy. The Warriors have taken 5 free throws. You want to talk about letting a team play defense? The Warriors have taken 5 free throws in this game. But forget about the total opening up at 201. Forget about the total, closing at 205.5. If you told me that if you said, Scott, I'm going to give you a line before the game, total's at 201, and it's up to 205.5, will there be 180 points scored in this game? I would have said 100%. We're going to approach an NBA game. I understand it's Game 7 of the playoffs. We're not going to get to 180 points in this game. I mean, this is absurd what we're seeing right now. That is just wild. 82-72, Warriors lead the Rockets to see if Houston can come back. 5 minutes or so left in this game. We'll see if they have a comeback in them. Meanwhile, my shot on goal prop for Robert Thomas, I can't believe this. The dude had 1 shot on goal in the first period, and we're in the second overtime already, and he hasn't had a second shot on goal. He just took a wrist shot that went wide, so that counts as a shot missed. I guess I'm hoping that maybe they review it on replay and it gets overturned into an actual shot. Did it even touch Hellebuck? I don't know. I was just reading the play-by-play and seeing that it said shot missed by Robert Thomas. But number 18, not getting the job done here for me, as he only has 1 shot on goal. This is now the 5th period of this game. This is double overtime. The dude's got 1 shot on goal. You're on the top line. You're one of the team's top scorers. Get a shot on goal for me. Although, I don't want that shot to go in because, obviously, I got the Winnipeg Jets. I need the Winnipeg Jets to win. But here's where we are just right now. 4 minutes into this second overtime period. And, yeah, my dude Robert Thomas, only 1 shot on goal. Need that to change here. Need that to change. All right, keeping an eye on what's going on here. Still no more scoring going on. Your live total is at 179.5 between the Warriors and the Rockets, 82-72, 5:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Tomorrow we have 2 game 1s in the Eastern Conference. It's the Celtics, a 9-point favorite over the Knicks. In the Western Conference, the Thunder, a 9.5-point favorite over the Nuggets. In one of these aspects, I actually like taking the points, and in the other one, I don't. And it's kind of the opposite of what you would think. You would think that I'd like to take the points with the Nuggets and lay it with the Celtics. It's actually the opposite. I want to take the points with the Knicks, and I want to lay it with the Oklahoma City Thunder. What I looked at in the history of, the NBA is I went back since 2002, so the last 23 years of playoffs. If you play a game on 8 days or more rest, so you have had 8 days or more off before your next playoff game. And that's what happens here. This is the advantage. You have a team in the Nuggets that is going to be on 8 days of, a team in the Thunder that's going to be on 8 days of rest, going up against a team in the Nuggets that's on 1 day of rest because they played in the Game 7 yesterday. And so those teams on the long rest, you would think rest versus rust. Like what happens here? Well, the rest helps out. They are 11-5 straight up and against the spread in the playoffs going back to the 2002 season. And if you want to cut that down and just think about it in more recent years, well, let's go back the last 10 years. We'll go the start of the 2014 season, 6-2 straight up and against the spread in the playoffs. And more recently, if you go post-COVID, like the start of the 2021 season, it's an undefeated 3-0. The teams with more rest. So every which way you look at it, recent history, 3-0. Go back 10 years, 6-2. Go back 20 years, 20 plus years, 11-5. It's a positive trend line for the team that has this extended rest. So I know some people might think, they're going to be rusty. They haven't played in a while. Well, usually it's the team that hasn't played in a while is because they're so much better because they're coming off of a sweep when the other team's coming off of a Game 7. So that's where we are right now. Thunder with the 8 days of rest going up against a Nuggets team that might have this Game 7 hangover, if you will, tomorrow. So I actually like taking the point, like laying the points, I should say, with the Thunder, because I do think that they have the ability to run the Nuggets out of the gym in that game coming up tomorrow. And for the Celtics against the Knicks, I'm going to take the points with the Knicks. I think it's a lot. I think the Knicks can muddy up the game a little bit. And the Celtics this year, here's what we've seen, okay? This season, they don't exactly cover spreads. When they are a heavy favorite this year, so let's see. I'm going to look at the Celtics this year and how they have done as, let's say, an 8-point favorite or higher, because they're a 9-point favorite in this game. So this year, as an 8-point favorite or higher, the Celtics are 25-31 against the spread. That's 44.6%. And this is what we've seen. Like some people like to say, I heard Will Hill earlier on Live Bet Sunday say the Celtics like to play with their food. They do. And now they're a little bit banged up, right? Holiday, Green, Brown, Holiday. They're not exactly 100% healthy here. And this is a team that during the season hasn't exactly done well covering these big spreads. If you can take it even further, as a 9-point favorite or greater this season, 22-29 against the spread. That's 43%. It might sound crazy because it's the Celtics and they're everybody's pick to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. Heck, they're my pick to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. 9 is too much for them to lay here in Game 1. Just like 8.5, 9 was too much for the Cavs to lay here in Game 1 against the Pacers. Congratulations to the Pacers winning that one outright. Cavs are still north of minus $2 favorites to win that series, despite being down 1-0, and the zigzag in full effect as they are 9.5-point favorites in Game 2 coming up on Tuesday. Live line right now, 3 minutes and 33 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. The Warriors lead the Rockets 86-74. Your live total is 176.5. There's not even going to be 180 points scored in an NBA game. Wow. Just wow. Congratulations to all the under bettors. This was as easy of a win as you will ever have betting an NBA under. Hey, stay tuned. Coming up right now, after us here on Live Bet Sunday, cashing out with Joe Serralo. And then tomorrow morning, make sure you wake up with VSiN by the books with Grace Remington in for Dave Ross, Jensen Lewis, former Major League pitcher, on that show as well, 7 a.m. Eastern time. And then a numbers game with Gil Alexander comes your way at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's all coming up next right here on VSiN. We are still tied at 3, double overtime there in Winnipeg, the Jets and the Blues, as someone will be celebrating and someone will be going home very, very tired and frustrated here as we are almost halfway through the second overtime period. I'm Scott Seidenberg. As always, you can hit me up on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, SCOTTSONAIR. Hit us all up on the network at VSiN Live. Selfishly rooting for the Jets so I can keep my Stanley Cup ticket alive. But a Robert Thomas shot on goal would be excellent for my prop bet here in this second overtime period. Don't forget, Cashing Out with Joe Serralo comes up next right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.